What does it take to be wealthy in America today? The latest Charles Schwab Modern Wealth Survey sets the national average at 2.3 million, but that's just an average. In high-cost cities like San Francisco, you'd need nearly double, 4.4 million. But here's the real question. If the goalpost keeps moving, depending on age, lifestyle, and geography, how do you determine your own personal rich number? Hi friends, welcome back. I'm Diane. After 15 years as a private equity advisor, I've learned that real wealth isn't just about money. It's about freedom, options, time, health, and family. Today we'll cover what wealthy means across America right now, a clear, practical 4-pillar framework to define your personal rich number. By the end, you'll know your personal rich number, have clarity about your retirement path, and be ready to align your money with your life's goals. So grab your coffee and let's dive in. Before we dive in, if you're looking for personal guidance to define your personal rich number or get a clearer path towards retirement, I offer a limited number of free one-on-one discovery calls each month. In just one session, we'll go over your goals and give you a roadmap to align your money with your life. The link is in the description. Feel free to grab a spot before they fill up. According to Charles Schwab, feeling financially comfortable is increasingly difficult. 4 years ago, comfort meant around $600,000. Today, it's over $800,000, a 34% increase. Yet, wealthy threshold remains stable around 2.3 million. Why the jump? It's the inflation monster at work. Everyday costs, food, gas, clothes are up by 26% since 2019. Rent is 4% higher than last year, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, but real wages have only risen to just 2%. Mortgage rates now hover around 7%, adding pressure to home buyers. Put all this together, and it's easy to see why 73% of people point to rising costs and 62% feel the economy is worse. Prices keep jumping faster than pay, so it's just taking a lot more money to feel comfortable, let alone wealthy. And it's not just about inflation. Your age plays a huge role in your rich number. Boomers see 2.8 million as wealthy, Gen X and millennials around 2.1 million, and increasingly, Gen Z sets their rich bar significantly lower, around 1.7 million, about 40% less than boomers. This probably often comes down to their life stage: fewer mortgages, no college tuition bills, and a focus on experiences over accumulation. So a typical 20-something-year-old might feel wealthy with just $300,000 versus $900,000 for a boomer who factors in property taxes, healthcare gaps, and helping kids. Notably, Gen Z optimism stands out, with 43% believing they're on track, driven by easier and greater access to investing options and anticipated wealth transfers. Geography is a huge lever, but it cuts both ways. Live in San Francisco, and survey respondents say you need roughly 4.4 million to feel wealthy. Shift to Dallas, and the target falls to nearly 2.2 million, a swing created by nothing more than a new zip code. Yet high-cost hubs also pay a premium. The total median compensation for somebody in the Bay Area, such as a software engineer, might hover around $250,000 versus the national mean of $133,000. So even with that extra pay, everyday expenses still bite. San Francisco cost of living, excluding rent, runs about 37% higher than Dallas. So before you pack the U-Haul, ask 2 questions. Does the salary bump outweigh the increased expenses? Can your career and family adapt to the new move? Some roles are still tied to big city ecosystems, but remote work and satellite office give more flexibility than ever. So treat your address like any other asset. Optimize it. Geography should serve your freedom number, not sabotage it. According to Schwab, 83% say meaningful relationships and personal happiness define wealth more than money. Another 81% emphasize having control over their time. Less than half actually mention their bank balance. Clearly, the true meaning of wealth extends beyond dollars. It's deeply personal and unique to each of us. So how do we cut through the noise and figure out our number? That's where the 4 life pillar framework comes in. It's a powerful tool developed with insights from Edward Jones and Age Wave that helps you define your personal rich number through what truly matters: health, family, purpose, and finances. Now, if you want to see how your current lifestyle stacks up across the 4 pillars, you can take my free Personal Rich Score quiz. It only takes a few minutes and gives you personalized insights into where you're strong and where you can grow. The link's in the description box. It's one of the best ways to turn this video into real clarity for your life. Most of us would love to blow out that 100-year birthday candle, but only if we stay healthy, engaged, and purposeful. In Edward Jones' and Age Wave study, the top motives for wanting to live that long were more time with family and friends and plain curiosity about the future. The deal breakers were the fear of suffering and terrible death, becoming a burden on loved ones, or losing cognitive function. Here's a reality check. Americans already spend about their last 10 years of life in poor health. and 80% of people 65 plus manage at least one chronic condition. Fidelity also states that newly retired 65-year-olds should expect well over $165,000 in medical bills over the rest of their retirement before long-term care costs. Younger adults feel the strain too. Gen X ranks mental health above money or muscles when asked what well-being means. So the translation, gym time matters, but clearing headspace belongs in your plan. So here's a quick 5-point self-check. You can rate this from 1 to 5. Preventative care. Am I up to date on physicals and screenings? Do I hit 20 minutes of active minutes and eat mostly whole foods? The World Health Organization says that meeting 150 minutes a week target cuts death nearly by 30%. Do I have a daily ritual? Do I walk, breath work, phone shutdown, alarm to keep my cortisol down? Harvard Health studies have linked chronic stress to heart disease and weaker immunity. And how often do I challenge my mind with a new skill, language, or strategy game? The Mayo Clinic finds regular cognitive training lowers dementia risks. Have I carved out a dedicated bucket for healthcare costs so surprises don't derail my freedom number? Now, if you score below 15 points, pick a fresh start date and pair it with a rewarding activity to boost your commitment. Rich feels pretty empty if people aren't in the picture. Today's families come in all shapes. 41% of Americans have at least one step relative, and more adults are now solo agers with no spouse or kids close by. So even so, time beats things. A Next 360 study found that 58% of 18 to 34-year-olds feel most fulfilled when they're simply hanging out with friends or family, ahead of travel, gaming, or social media. Older retirees back that up too. When they choose to spend more quality time with family, roughly 6 in 10 say it made a big positive difference in their lives. Money talks matters too. 83% of millennials would rather see mom and dad financially secure than inherit a bigger inheritance check later on. So here's a family check from 1 to 5. Regular quality time. Do you consistently schedule meaningful activities or gatherings with family or close friends? Research from Edward Jones shows that retirees who regularly spend quality time with loved ones experience a 59% increase in happiness and life satisfaction. Have you openly discussed financial plans and caregiving responsibilities with your family? A study from Merrill Lynch found that 92% of families see the value of open conversations about finances, yet only 27% regularly have them. Do you maintain clear boundaries while supporting your family financially or emotionally? According to the Edward Jones study, establishing clear boundaries can reduce stress for caregivers by nearly 60%. So if you score between 13 to 15, you have a strong foundation. Maintain your practices. From 9 to 12 scoring, that's a good start. Maybe you can identify one area to strengthen. And anything below 9, you want to prioritize maybe improving communication or setting some boundaries. Purpose is your internal alarm clock. Across all 5 generations in the Edward Jones Age Wave study, the biggest spark isn't cash, it's connection. Time from loved one tops every other source of meaning. In a Harvard Business Review, work can amplify that spark. 67% of retirees who keep a small job say it keeps their mind sharp, a benefit they rank higher than a paycheck. And younger adults agree. 29% say the real point of a career is doing what I love, beating job security or ladder climbing. Past Harvard professor Clayton Christensen called this the allocation problem. If you pour your time, energy, and talent into money metrics alone, you'll measure your life in the wrong currency. His HBR classic, How Will You Measure Your Life, argues that the true yardsticks are relationships, integrity, and purpose, and that your daily calendar should mirror those priorities. So here's a quick way to check from 1 to 5. First, do you have activities that induce flow? Do you regularly engage in activities that deeply absorb your attention and give you joy? Positive psychology research from Michele, I can't say his last name, indicates that experiencing flow regularly significantly boosts overall well-being and satisfaction. Second is volunteering. Are you consistently contributing to your community through mentoring or volunteering? The Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health study reveals that regular volunteering is linked to improved physical health, emotional resilience, and increased lifespan. Next is your schedule balanced with activities that allow you to give to others, pursue personal growth, and simply enjoy life? Research from Age Wave emphasized that a balanced lifestyle across these 3 areas significantly increases life satisfaction and reduces stress. So if you're scoring between 13 to 15, great job. Keep your current balance. Between 9 to 12, you have pretty good alignment. Consider expanding the weaker areas. And if you're scoring below 9, prioritize adding maybe more purposeful activities or community engagement. Financial stability supports every other life pillar, yet it's often the biggest source of stress. This framework combines best practices from leading financial advisors, researchers, and proven methodologies, helping you clearly define and achieve your freedom number. First is to understand your financial anxiety. Do you clearly recognize your main financial concerns and how they affect your daily life? And an Edward Jones report says that 66% of retirees see inflation as their top financial concern, even surpassing healthcare costs. Additionally, only 17% of Fortune 500 firms now offer guaranteed pensions, and the average Social Security check is about $1,800 a month, reinforcing why clarity in financial planning is so essential. So the first is to calculate your personal freedom number. Have you determined your financial freedom number based on core expenses, desired lifestyle, and long-term financial goals? Annual core expenses include housing, food, utilities, transportation, healthcare, childcare, and debt payments. So for an example, $60,000 per year. Lifestyle upgrades. Add improvements that enhance your comfort and enjoyment. Travel, hobby, home upgrades. $15,000 per year. Life spend, $75,000 per year. Long-term expenses include healthcare, approximately $6,000 per adult annually. One-time goals, education, weddings, and replacements. Then as a leading practice, you could apply the 25X rule. Now this is one way to do it. You don't always have to do it like this, but for simplicity, we'll use the 25X rule. So your financial freedom number is basically your lifestyle spend plus your annual reserves times 25. So in the example above, let's say if we had a lifestyle spend of 75,000 and then an additional spend of 10,000, you want to multiply that by 25, which gives you roughly over $2 million. Then you want to adjust for any guaranteed income. Subtract pension, Social Security, or annuities. So for example, if Social Security is 25,000 per year, your portfolio would require 85,000 minus 25,000 times 25, which is 1.5 million. So you want to stress test this and test this across different types of scenarios. The first is to document your plan. People with a written financial plan are twice as likely to feel wealthy, yet only 29% have one. Budget awareness is the strongest predictor of meeting savings goal. Organize your budget into fixed expenses, savings, investments, and fund money. You want to aim for roughly 50 to 60% in fixed expenses, about 15 to 20 in savings and investment, and about 15 to 20% in fund money. Now, if you have debt, you want to prioritize paying it down first. So, additional tips if you're 50 or plus and approaching retirement. You want to maximize catch-up contributions. After the age of 50, the IRS rule allows larger retirement contributions, up to $30,500 to your 401k, $8,000 to your IRA, and additional $9,500 annually to your HSA if you're 55 plus. Plan for longevity. Today's retirement often lasts 3 decades, with average healthcare costs surpassing over $400,000. You want to be proactive with your budgeting. Explore long-term care costs, options, and strategic investing are essential. Next is to spend intentionally. Regularly assess spending against your life goals to ensure it adds real value. So you want to increase income opportunities. Explore ways to generate additional income streams that align with your lifestyle and your financial goals, if this is something that you're interested in. So to do a financial gut check here, if you're scoring between 13 to 15, strong foundation, maintain and review this regularly. 9 to 12, that's a solid start. Focus on strengthening clarity and documentation. Below 9, look at what's giving you anxiety. You want to clarify your freedom number a little bit more and perhaps consider a documented financial plan. So if these financial concepts feel overwhelming or you're struggling to calculate your exact personal freedom number, please know that you're not alone. This is super complex stuff. So if you'd like a personalized guidance or want to learn more about our community where we work through these steps together, you can consider booking a one-on-one call with me in the description link below. Friends, thank you for making it this far. Remember, true wealth isn't a generic dollar amount dictated by a survey. It's your personal freedom number, your personal rich number, designed around your unique life, relationships, well-being, and purpose. Wherever you're starting from, the strategies we've covered today give you options, and options are the essence of real wealth. The most important step is just the next one. Just start from where you're at now and build from there. At the end of the day, true wealth isn't measured by a specific dollar amount. It's measured by how aligned, secure, and meaningful your life feels to you personally. So whether you're in San Francisco or Dallas, whether you're 32 or 62, your definition of rich is valid, valuable, and entirely your own. When you define that number clearly, align it intentionally with your life pillars, and take small strategic steps forward, you're already experiencing a form of wealth money can't provide. So remember, you're not behind. You're simply at a new beginning, one with more clarity and with more choices than before. Take a pause and reflect. What does your version of truly rich life look like? And what's the one action you'll take this week to move towards it? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comment box below, and see you in the next one.